So Oklahoma, they played a football game today. I don't think a lot of people realize that because Oklahoma's coming off of a bye week where they just beat Texas, and the narrative was it was kind of quiet for Oklahoma. It was a little quiet. Oklahoma goes out in here, and they have to survive a game, 31-29, in a game where the spread was 17 points. So 3 scores, not necessarily 3 touchdowns, but 3 scores. And Oklahoma goes out there and only wins by 2. And you saw people on Twitter say Oklahoma should feel embarrassed for beating UCF by 2 points. But I think people are forgetting that UCF, I think, has the number 4 offense in the country, or at least coming in today, they had the number 4 offense in the country. And John Rice Plumlee can actually play football. Now, coming off of an injury, definitely, I think there was some unknown what he was going to be in this game. Not to mention, UCF gets their best defensive player back in this game. But, yeah, you know, I look at this game and I go, man, Oklahoma got battle tested. And this was a game where when you watched it in the first quarter, man, you really thought Oklahoma was about to do something special today. Because I want to pull up the play-by-play here. Because when you look at what Oklahoma did in that first quarter, you really thought, and guys, if you see me being distracted, I'm watching Clemson lose to Miami over here. So that's interesting. But no, I want people to see this over here. So I got the score. I got the play-by-play pulled up right here. And yeah, I want to run through UCF. Punt, 3 plays, 5 yards, 46 seconds. Defense dominated that first drive against UCF. Now, Oklahoma comes out. They weren't able to do anything in a minute 13, minus 4 yards. So, hey, you know what? Maybe this Oklahoma offense, maybe we should have expected this because, well, we saw them here kind of struggling a little bit. But then the defense comes right back out. 3 plays, minus 1 yard. So at this point, they've got 4 yards. I believe it was minus 1 rushing yard. You feel really good. You're like, man, this defense is going to do something special today. The offense comes out. 6 plays, 20 yards, missed field goal. We'll get to the kicking situation here in a second because that's something we got to address here because we don't have kicking problems at Oklahoma until we got kicking problems at Oklahoma. And then everybody starts to freak out because, well, that's not something Oklahoma fans are used to. UCF's next drive, punt. Oklahoma scores. UCF's next drive, punt. Man, you really felt good about what Oklahoma was about to do. Hey, they could be up 10-0 at this point. They could be up 13-0 because the next drive they missed another field goal and then finally let touchdown be achieved by UCF. Now, I'm sitting here watching this game, and I'm watching UCF's game plan, and it's brilliant, right? They took the Kansas State model and said, that's what we're going to use to try and create an upset this week against Oklahoma. Because at one point I looked down at my phone and guys, UCF had 27 rushing attempts. By the end of this game, they had 41 rushing attempts for 149 yards. So I know people will look at this and go, hey, the defense didn't play well because UCF's got almost 400 yards. Well, one, I want to explain something to you. I think UCF was averaging 517 on the offensive side of the ball coming into this game. You held them under 400 yards. That's pretty damn good if I say so myself. Additionally, on the rushing side of the ball, you held them to a 3.6 yard average. 3.6 yard average. on 41 attempts. That's pretty good. Oklahoma run defense, it's still pretty good. And then I want to look at the passing. 16 of 30, 8.3. You didn't get a pick. Oklahoma had opportunities. They just weren't able to capitalize on them, right? They weren't able to pull them in. But that's okay, right? You're going to have games like this. And I know Oklahoma fans, I saw some of the tweets on Twitter. I think I put one out. Hey, like, this is the game Oklahoma fans were waiting for, right? Like, every year, there is a game where Oklahoma does not have the business of trying to lose that game. And this was the game that they didn't have business in losing this game, but they could have lost it. Oklahoma probably should have lost it because it took another late quarter push to come out and win it. Some of you might not like that take, but it's the case. It's the facts. Now, at the end of the day, Oklahoma's coming out of this game. They're 7-0. There's not a lot of 7-0 teams in the country right now. North Carolina, a team that myself and a lot of other people were kind of high on, hey, they just lost to Virginia tonight. There's another undefeated off the market. And with the way the Mizzou's playing, SEC might not have any undefeateds coming up here in the next couple weeks. So if you're Oklahoma, I don't care how you win at this point. At this point, you just need to win your games. And I would make an argument, a game like this is good for Oklahoma to be in. Because you get to find out who you are when you're down, you're trailing, and you're having to drive down that field and score once again. This ain't a rivalry game. This ain't Texas. I want to see what it's like when you're not playing Texas and you've got adversity. And right now, we're finding out what this team's made of. So the question is, as Oklahoma goes into the rest of their schedule, hey, can you continue to win your games? And I mean, yes, Oklahoma fans are going to want to see you take care of business, but you're going to have to go to Lawrence, Kansas and play a very good Kansas team. This is not the Kansas team from the past 10 years where they were just awful. This is a Kansas team that can run all over you. They put 399 up against UCF. And if they got Jalen Daniels in this game, presuming Jalen Daniels isn't sitting out to hit the transfer portal, you heard me right. We'll talk about that another day. Kansas might have a chance in this game. And then you go to Stillwater. You heard me right. You got to play Oklahoma State, who just beat West Virginia today. It looks like they're turning their season around. They're sitting at 5-2. There's a chance that this might be a Oklahoma State ranked number 20 Oklahoma in top 5 matchup. We could be looking at a night game in Stillwater, right? That's going to be a tough game for Oklahoma. It's the last bedlam. Oklahoma State's going to want to come out and win that game. West Virginia, hey, you know what? Maybe they're starting to fall apart a little bit. Maybe they're starting to be what we thought they were. They're 4-3 now. At BYU, hey, I don't know what happened with Texas Tech today. BYU somehow found an offense. It's probably going to be a night game in Provo. Elevation change. It's going to be cold, potentially snowy. But listen, I want to see how Oklahoma goes into that situation, that environment, and wins a game. And then you got TCU at home. TCU just don't look good, so Oklahoma should be able to win that. So Oklahoma continues to win their games. You're going to feel really good about this team. But we need to continue to see this team fight through adversity. You got to see it today. You didn't have your starting running back in Tawee Walker, which I kind of want to talk about the running game for Oklahoma for a minute. I was standing around and I had some really negative people sitting next to me, so I was trying to block them out, right? We don't need the negative energy. Like, we just need the big positive energy here, right? We need to talk about the good things for this team. Oh, why are we running the ball with this Sawchuck dude? This Sawchuck dude sucks. I don't know why everybody's so hyped up on him. Let me tell you who Sawchuck is. Because Sawchuck returning from a hamstring injury. And where he's been favoring it this year, he needed to build confidence. I think he got that in this game. So I liked what I got out of Gavin Sawchuck today. Sorry, guys, if you guys see my mic going, I kind of broke my desk earlier where it sits, so I'll have to get that fixed later. I like what I got out of Gavin Sawchuck today. I sat there, I was telling the people around me, if anything, I just want to see Gavin Sawchuk break off a run or two. I want to see Gavin Sawchuk be 25% of the running back he was in that Florida State game. Because, my goodness, if this is the game where, even though it's a close game, you build momentum at the running back position and you can get Sawchuk some confidence, then Tyree Walker comes back. Maybe this Oklahoma run game has something. So I definitely think Gavin Sawchuk has earned himself some more playing time, even when Tyree comes back. Marcus Major, on the other hand, I'm not exactly sure how much more time we need to be giving Marcus Major. Marcus Major ain't it for me. He ain't it. So that's kind of some of my thoughts for today. Some of my thoughts for Oklahoma. I'm sure we'll talk about it again later in the week. But it was an ugly win, but Oklahoma's 7-0. Not a lot of other teams can be 7-0 right now, including some of the just more elite programs that have been elite around college football. So, guys, want to hear from you. If you haven't already, make sure you do it. Make sure you hit that like and hit that subscribe button, because we're here. We're here to talk about it. We're here to talk about Oklahoma. We're here to talk about Oklahoma winning their football games, being 7-0.